Here we are. Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Matt Shad, and this is another episode of the Zoot Report. Gotta hit them switches. Skirt, skirt. Yep, hit them switches. Let them know. Let them know. Gotta let them know. Let them know. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into TI. Hit them switches. What do I mean? What do I mean by hitting switches? Wow, it's currently 71 degrees. It feels great out here. Northeast Ohio. Oh man. I'm gonna try to just keep the windows cracked here a little bit, just so I can enjoy some of this air. This cool air. Got a cooling spell going on. I don't know why. I don't know why. That dreaded voice. I don't know why. The most dreaded drill instructor in the world. Anyway, hit them switches. We wear many hats. You got your family hats. You got your work hat. You got your, and you got different hats for work. You got your employees hat, where you talk to your employees a different way. You act a certain way around them. Then when the boss comes around, you act a certain way. So you got your professional hat, your employee hat for work. So you got a couple of hats, like subcategories, right? And then you've got your public relations hat. I don't know if you're dealing with the public. Anybody in retail. It's got that whole corporate public relations hat. That switch, the hat, the switch. I mean, it's a switch. You hit that switch. You're like, "Hi, sir. How are you doing today? How can I help you? How may I be of assistance?" Right? That kind of shit. And of course, you've got your, like I said, your family switch. You talk to your kids a different way, and you talk to your wife a certain way. You got your lover switch, right? You'll play a switch, right? Hey, it's a lady. Would you like a fish sandwich? What? I know, the ladies' man. It's the ladies' man. Yeah. Right. Anyway, you get that switch, right? Whatever. And then you got that kill switch. Ooh. Right? The kill switch. The let's hurt a motherfucker switch. And it's either like a drop of a hat switch, or it's the I'm gonna slowly hit this switch. I'm gonna slowly move my finger over to the kill switch, because I don't know. Maybe they FOFO, maybe they don't, right? Maybe they warrant it. To hit that kill switch, a lot of it comes with training, right? You're gonna fight how you train, right? So you got your fight switch and you got your kill switch. Developing that killer instinct. It was very simple. Very simple. I've seen how the Marine Corps did it, how the military does it. They just deny you the creature comforts, and they keep you all pissed off, right? Keep you working out. They get you to push yourself. And once you can push yourself and get that, dig deep kind of intestinal fortitude, where you're like, let me hear your war cry. Let me see your war face. Right? Yeah, it's kind of comical, but it's there. That's when you push yourself, when you're running that extra mile, when you're carrying that extra weight, when you're pushing yourself. That's that's where you're like, fuck, man. Let's go. Let's go. So a lot of your training does that. I mean, it can also be automatic. It can be just like fluid and smooth, relaxed kind of kill switch. It doesn't have to be, Incredible Hulk Berserker mode, because you don't think too well when that happens. It's just total chaos. Let's go, head first into the fray. Damn the consequences, But the methodical switch, you're like, okay, boom, it's hit. The switch is hit. Things have already happened. That comes with a lot of training, and your switch is just there. You gotta be careful not to hit the switch, right? A lot of people, you can't. There's no horseplay. It's when people come out of nowhere and punch you or grab you, just fucking around, and boom, they're on the floor. You're like, oh shit! You don't even realize it, that you did it. You're like, oh fuck, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's where you kind of temper it with some compassion. What y'all doing? Like right in the middle of while you're doing it. Maybe you pull back on the throat punch a little bit. Maybe you kind of throttle back on the dick punch. You stop just before you put that elbow to the neck. Elbow to the back of the head, whatever. It's like, okay, you're just fucking around. And a good one to use is the ODA loop, right? Observe, orientate, decide, action. And once you start training that ODA, it becomes easier to use discernment, if you will, in your kill switch action, or hurt switch, or you can add a little compassion, or like, yeah, that motherfucker needs some killing. And then switching it off, right? Switching on, switching off. That's what's up to. Anybody that's been in a very prolonged conflict, you GWAT guys, you invasion guys, wow, I mean, amazing Americans. A lot of times they come back and the switch doesn't go off. And then sometimes the switch just turns on for no apparent reason. Like, why am I in kill mode? Why am I in immediate action mode? Why am I seeking cover? Why am I doing this? Why am I nothing? There's no reason to. It's hard to turn that switch off. Whatever the case may be, whatever the trigger is, you hear the. I didn't really want to make this about PTSD or whatever, but there's a reason why a lot of us vets don't like fireworks. I try to force myself to like it, to withstand it. Kind of have that mentality of, well, they're not shooting at me, right? They're not shooting at me, so there's no reason for me to be acting a fool like this. And it takes a lot of mental gymnastics to get out of that. And guess. I don't know. Talk to your World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, Korean vets. You know. I remember mine came from, of all places, reform school. Yeah. I mean, we had no locked doors. No locked doors! You know, you're basically in a dormitory with like 50 other kids. Some were 100. I think mine was like 50. But, or maybe less, depending. People come and go. But your door to your room did not lock. There was no lock, and there was no ceiling. Basically, it was just like a, anybody could throw anything at you. I guess they did that so that they could check up on you and all that shit. So what they did, security guards would come through, and the correction officers would come through and open the door, and shine a light on your face, make sure you're still there in bed, make sure you're not dead, right? Not all fucked up. But when they would turn their back, 3, 4, 5, 6 people would run up in your room, just, quickly just whoop your ass. Or they would take D-size or C-size batteries or whatever and chunk them and try to like play baseball, try to hit you in your bed as you're sleeping. So I developed the innate ability to go from a dead sleep to let's fight. I would just jump right up, fight, just start scrapping. Let's go. The battery thing, I put a pillow over my head when I slept. They still managed to hit me in my body and shit. I'm like, oh fuck, that hurt, wake you up. But they never got me in the head. But I would literally just wake up at the drop of a dime. Boom. Any little noise, my ears were tuned to that door opening, and I would just wake up. Boom. Let's go. Fight. And that just carried on in the rest of my life. So yeah, I learned that as a kid. I didn't. I hear everybody like, oh, well, you're a Marine, and no, that's not where I got. It made it worse. It did make it worse. And it got worse after I got out of the Marine Corps. I was pulling guns and knives on people. A friend of mine thought he could jump into do the wake me up in the middle early in the morning, and he jumped in the bed trying to whoop my ass, and I got him in a freaking beautiful guillotine, locked my legs around his body, and just started putting him in the L shape, and I felt his neck cracking, and I woke up before I snapped his neck. Sorry, Kevin. Yeah, I'm sure he has neck problems to this day, but I woke up mid-kill, so to speak, and I was like, good morning, Kevin. I was like, are we good? And I let him go, and he still managed to throw me off the bed, which hurt my neck. But anyway, kind of weird. I wouldn't say I deserved it, but and I was, I slept with a gun. I always pull the gun out, or a knife, whatever. You dare not wake me up. Just don't. Stand back. It's and that kill switch, it stuck with me for a long time, until Charity come along. Yes, Charity really helped me. She talk about a support animal, talk about a therapy animal. I would wake up middle of the night, you know, in my apartment, and she'd be sleeping with me. And I would wake up, you know, just ready to fight, you know. And it was like a car door or something happens outside. And I would obviously look at Charity, and Charity would just be laying there, and she'd just look at me and go, like, like, calm down, it's okay, right? And you're like, here we go again. And she wasn't reacting. So if she wasn't reacting, I would come to my senses and go, okay, there's nothing going on, go back to bed, right? But there were times when I woke up and she's standing up, she's at the ready. I'm like, oh shit, it's go time. And it was somebody at the door, or you know, my roommate was, you know, one time my roommate was getting her ass chewed by her son. He was cussing her out, you know, and I had the shotgun. I peeked out the side, and there he was. Okay, all right, calm down. So I thank you, and love you, Charity. She did that for me, and it really helped me out. It really did. And you get a tune. You get a tune to the triggers, so I don't have to hit that kill switch. You know. And another thing, like I said, is wearing myself out, right? Getting myself totally worn out, working hard, working out. I am quickly turning into a Flutter King god right now. My voice. I'm trying to project a little bit because of the wind. I don't know, maybe I don't have to. So knowing when to hit that switch, right? OODA loop, training, and then having some discernment, having some having a pause or not. Sometimes it's just going to be automatic. It's like, you know, you are judge, jury, and executioner within a split second. You know, and you're weighing the options right away. What they call critical chance, right? Because, you know, you're getting shot at, or they're running up on you, or you've already been hit. I've had that happen where I've already been hit. Boom, back of the head, knocked on the ground, and they're like split second from stomping my brains in. So I gotta move. And you're already in a fog, you're already, you know, fucked up. It's that switch hits, and it's just, you're on cruise control. You know, the adrenal dump happens, and maybe training kicks in. So hitting that switch, it's you gotta train. You gotta train, because you might not hit that. You might hit that switch, and your training doesn't allow it to happen as smoothly and fast as you wanted to, because you didn't train, you didn't dry fire, pulling your holster out of your, you know, pulling your gun out of your holster, you know, getting that proper side alignment, proper side picture, proper grip. You know. Mostly the proper sight, you know, getting that proper sight, that gives you that critical chance. You know, what they used to call instinctive shooting. My carry is a red dot, so I've trained with that red dot, how to put that red dot on the target, and how to squeeze that trigger. Oh, not to jerk the trigger. But I find myself still jerking the trigger. Anyway, that kill switch, and then hitting the off switch. I've been arguments that were just absolutely escalating. Emotions were running high. Both of us were getting ready for blows, and I hit the off switch. You know, just because it was a bad idea. I was like, we can't do this. We can't. No, we're not gonna fight. No, we're not doing this. No, fuck this. And walk away. Hopefully, he gets the hit too. Because when things get emotional, it's ready. You're ready to fight. You're not thinking. You're not thinking clearly. And so, just hitting that off switch before it gets to that escalate. It escalates beyond the point of no return. And I have to give it to Shaolin. Shaolin come through with that. Yep. Shout out to my seafood, right? Practicing restraint, compassion as I'm going through, the self-defense or the combatives, if you will. I got somebody broken down. If it's once I'm committed to the physical act, right? Of hurting somebody or defending myself, I get to decide how far it goes at a certain point, because now I have total control. You know what I'm saying? Like I could dash their brains out on the floor, or slam them on their face, or break a bone or something like that. Incapacitate them, and then carry on and continue to destroy them and kill them. Or, which is what I learned in bouncing in prison in CO is to subdue somebody. I'm just trying to subdue them, or I'm just trying to get them to come along. I'm trying to kick them out of the club. I'm trying to de-escalate the situation through either pain compliance or some type of hold or something. BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, teaches the same thing. You see a lot of that in police and law enforcement training as well, right? But you also see where they hit that kill switch. Guns are drawn because there's a weapon, right? And when do you use deadly force, or when do you use force, right? I hope I'm not. But we learned that I couldn't use control measures or self-defense techniques, or words didn't work, right? Or it's past that point. I had no other choice but to use force. In defense of myself or others. So I can issue commands all day long, but if he still has that knife and or that gun, and he's coming towards me or shooting at me, it's past that point. Now it's time to engage. Matter of fact, I have to engage. I have to decide now. I have to, do I take cover, take aim, take over? Do I get dynamic and push forward, and, mag dump? Right? Try to get that Rhodesian, failure to stop drill. At that point, it's done. They've already decided for me. And that's what firearms, right? Firearms. once you fire that bullet, you're not taking it back. You know, and that means if you miss too, right? So if you miss, you're responsible for that. My biggest fear is shooting somebody else that I didn't intend to. That's, friendly fire isn't, hitting a kid or something, that was just setting at the McDonald's, and that was, 100 yards away, and my bullet either went through the guy or missed completely or ricocheted and, hit the kid, eating ice cream, blissfully unaware of the violence. That'd be my biggest fear. So, having shot placement is everything for me. I ain't just gonna be like blasting, like, yeah, motherfucker, boom, 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 kill shot, gun to the side, gun cocked sideways, or off center axis, whatever they call it. Do the modified John Wick or the gangsta kill shot. No, I gotta make sure, right? I gotta make sure I know what I'm hitting. It might take a second or a split second. I gotta know. I gotta know as soon as I pull my, fuck. I gotta know as soon as I pull that trigger that it's gonna work, right? I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna get a hit. I gotta know. I can't just blast. No spray and pray. I mean, there is spray and pray. I mean, suppression, right? But that's a different story. That's movement to contact, or breaking contact. That's a tactic, I guess. But that critical chance, hitting that kill switch, I gotta know that I'm gonna hit the target and the target only. Right? Then I gotta turn it off at some point. So only after I'm safe and everybody else is safe, then I turn it off. Holster my weapon, or in this day and age, right? I unload my weapon and put it on the ground and await the arrival of the Leos so they can take my gun away. And so, good advice is never make a statement right away. After any kind of self-defense thing that you do, take some time, gather your thoughts, give it a day or two, seriously, because you're going to say a lot of things and write down a lot of things that doesn't paint you in a good light. It really doesn't. It makes you look like the aggressor, even though you're the victim. And being able to, get a lawyer. Hey, I got to make a statement. What do I say? Hey, you were in fear for your life. You got hit. You had no other choice but to defend yourself or defend others, right? So you acted accordingly. You did it, in the only way that you knew how, and the way that you trained, whatever, they advise you. You stick to that plan. You don't say anything, because they're going to ask you questions like, what did the attacker look like? He had a red shirt on. No, he had a blue shirt on. What? Really? Yeah. You're lying. So if you're lying about that, you're probably lying about everything else. Oh, fuck. That's how they get you. So, keeping it vague, keeping it, I don't know, What color shirt? I did not think to look at his damn shirt, right? Not thinking about oh, that's a nice shirt, a nice red color, Nike sign, button-up shirt. Wow, cool, right? Wow, look at those shoes. No, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking, oh fuck, this guy's gonna kill me. Bang, 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 bang. I'm focusing on putting that target, putting those bullets on target, and nowhere else. Or I'm thinking about ending the fight, quickly, maybe subduing him. Can I subdue him? No, he's bigger than me. He's already hit me 5 times. I've already got a concussion. See, that's the thing too. Concussion, shock. You can't make a viable statement or testimony in those conditions. You need some time to calm down, think about it, review what happened, and then go from there. So yeah, that's my advice. Even a wreck. I mean, same thing with a wreck. Same thing with unless you're like watching the wreck happen, you're a bystander. Then you're like, oh yeah, I seen that car hit that car, and then that guy got out and hit that guy. Like, oh fuck. Oh okay. Damn, y'all got $4.78 for gas. Fuck that. I think it's $4.67 down the street. And yep, I'm gonna stop here. Stand by. Can I go? Yep, I can go. All right. Work that shit out. So yeah, hitting that switch, turning the switch off. Hit them switches. So yeah, after it, the after action report, you got to talk about it, talk it through, what happened, and stick to that, because that's your testimony, that's your statement, and then you can learn from it too, right? You can study it. If there's cameras in the area, shit like that, that's cool. Review footage, and hitting that switch, turning that switch off, might take you a few days, right? Ah yes, 22 a day, y'all. 22 a day. Veterans kill themselves. Help a veteran out. I see the bumper sticker. 22 a day. It's fucked up. So yeah, like I said, a lot of vets just can't turn it off. A lot of first responders can't turn it off. It's just, and for some strange reason, whatever reason, it turns on sometimes. Drive you crazy. Drive you to suicide. So yeah, hit them switches. Hit that loving father switch, the loving mother switch, the good friend switch, right? You kids out there, hit that good kid switch, right? Be a good kid, stay in school, get good grades, right? Don't do stupid shit. Make it easy on your mom and dad. Because I realize moms and dads, a lot of them, they're struggling. They're like, man, fuck. We gotta make bills. I gotta keep this kid from dying. I gotta feed him. I gotta buy, number 2 pencils and all this shit. Trying to put some money away so they can go to college. All that stuff. And meanwhile, not be stupid at work and lose their job, right? Or finding another job. Making ends meet. It's also very important to know when not to hit that switch, right? That's it for me. It's like, okay, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm aggravated. You know, maybe I got a lot of shit on my mind, a lot of things on my plate, and I'm just really frustrated right now, and I'm trying to do this difficult thing, and I'm getting very, very angry, very, even violent, snapping at people, and they might not appreciate that, and try to fight me. And then I'm like, well, fuck you. I got a chip on my shoulder. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So you got to realize, all right, I'm sorry. Please excuse me. I'm an idiot. I do apologize. Step back. Step back from the situation and think about it. Use that ODA loop. Observe, orientate, decide, action, or inaction. So I hope this has been helpful. I don't know. Hit those switches. Get out there and train. Shout out to Rip Curl Preparedness. As we Mad Shad, continue to train, continue to prep, because we all know it's a mad world out there. Skull.